Hello.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Walaikum salam. How are you doing?
Sir,
Sir,
fine,
great.
sir.
What
What about
about
you?
you?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Fine.
सर कैसे हालात है वहाँ?
हालात ठीक है. So far, everything is going good. Let's pray. ये हालात
सर, अब
back
स्कूल
to
का
normal.
बंद हो जाएंगे।
वो कोई नहीं कह सकता कब हो जाए. आप दुआ करो बस हालात सुधर जाए तो we'll be back to school.
इंशाल्लाह सर, इंशाल्लाह। सर, एक तो मिल रहे हैं, वो क्यों नहीं आ रहे हैं सर? क्लास से?
I don't know.
सर, ये क्लास कंपलसरी है ना उनके लिए? ये FA3 का है।
Yes, sure. So we will drop a message to them.
यस सर।
Why are the others not joining? Yes. Shall we begin?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, how many of you have joined so far?
Sir, 10.
10. Okay. Let me drop a message. All right. Can you see the whiteboard?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then let's get started. So, what did we study last time? We had a general introduction of some topic.
Yes, sir.
So, what did we study last time?
Just study the
Introduction about the global warming.
Exactly. We had a general introduction about what global warming is and whether it is beneficial for us or harmful for us. That is what we discussed last time. As some of the students were absent, and let's brush it up a little bit again for those who were absent. But before that, I want to ask you, is my whiteboard visible to you?
yes, sir. It's visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Now, then let's get started. So, Amber, tell me, what do you know about global warming?
So, according to me, global warming is the increase in the average temperature of Earth. So, it's actually the rise of greenhouse gases, as you told us in the last class. So, you told us about carbon dioxide was in natural presence it was 0.03%, but today it's 0.0, it has come to 0.04, and other gases were there that are very harmful for our environment. So when they increase in the atmosphere, they cause increase in the temperature, so it causes global warming, and there are certain consequences about it, that there are so much loss that other environment also gets involved in the global warming, like we see water shortage becomes, and water cycle disrupts, etc.
Excellent. So, very nice. You explained it rightly. As we discussed it last time, and as I said, I am repeating it again for those who were not present last time. But before that, just let me allow the students to enter my class. There are some students who are waiting. Yes. So, global warming. See, as I said, Almighty Allah has created some life-sustaining conditions on our earth. And it's because of those conditions that life is sustained on earth. Otherwise, life would not have been possible. And out of those life-sustaining conditions, the envelope of air surrounding our earth, what we also call as atmosphere, this is one of those life-sustaining conditions. And in this atmosphere, there are different gases, like the number one gas in terms of concentration is nitrogen. Then we have oxygen. And then we have carbon dioxide. Then we have other gases which are in negligible quantities. But if we talk about these three gases, the carbon dioxide, which we exhale and the trees inhale it, this has some ability, this has a capability. What capability does it have? It can trap heat in itself. It can absorb heat. Like if you put a gallon of water on a gas or a stove and you give it heat, then that heat gets transferred into water and water becomes warm. In the same way, as that water absorbed heat in itself, in the same way, carbon dioxide also absorbs heat. Now, I asked you last time, is it beneficial for us or harmful for us? This heat trapping phenomena, what we also call as greenhouse effect. Is this greenhouse effect good for us or bad? What do you think? Okay, Sirat, you tell me. Hello?
Hello.
Yes? Hello?
Sir, good for us.
Good. Okay, how is it good for us? Can you explain? Yes, can you explain how is it good for us?
No, sir.
Okay, Who will explain how is it good for us? Hello?
Sir, it's not good for us.
It's not good
Sir,
for us.
sir,
So
it's
it's good
basically
for us.
How is it
sir,
good for us?
So because it helps us to generate Earth's environment properly, temperature nicely, so it helps to give us heat. It absorbs some heat and some it passes down to Earth. So it is beneficial for in that way for beneficial for us because it helps in the growth of plants, etc., and keeping us warm.
Excellent. So see, last time I told you that if these greenhouse gases were not present in the atmosphere, like carbon dioxide, methane, sulfur hexafluoride, nitrous oxide, these are some of the gases which are water vapors for that matter, which help in greenhouse effect, means trapping of the heat. Now what happens when the sun sends its radiations, mostly ultraviolet radiations, infrared radiations to Earth, then when these radiations get reflected, these heat radiations get, they strike the surface of the Earth, and when they want to go back, but you see, our Earth has an envelope of air around it, so those heat radiations get trapped into these gases, and as a result of this, our Earth remains warm. I gave an example last time, a fact, in fact, that if these gases were not present in the atmosphere, the average temperature of Earth would have been minus 18 degrees centigrade.
Yes, sir.
Um, so now tell me,
so
in
now
minus 18 degrees centigrade, was it possible for the life to sustain on this Earth?
No, sir. No, sir.
The vegetation would not have survived, and if the vegetation would not have survived, like how could we both survive? Because we depend on producers like trees, plants, etc. for food. So it means naturally occurring global warming, naturally occurring greenhouse effect is beneficial for us, and it is because of this naturally occurring greenhouse effect that the average temperature of Earth is 15 degrees centigrade. Average temperature of Earth is 15 degrees centigrade because of this naturally occurring greenhouse effect. But what happened, as Amber was just explaining, that because of on one side we kept cutting down trees, on one side we kept going for ruthless deforestation, and on the other hand, like because of our industrialization, because of burning of fossil fuels, because of maybe sometimes volcanic eruptions, we kept releasing more and more smoke in the air, and that smoke is nothing else but carbon dioxide. And when there was extra carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, this resulted in extra heating, this resulted in extra greenhouse effect, and that extra greenhouse effect has increased the average surface temperature of Earth. So let's suppose from 15 degrees centigrade, it is now 16 degrees centigrade. Now, this 1 degree does not seem too much for us, but it is, remember, it's not in a specific area. It is the average increase in the average temperature of the whole Earth. So this has resulted to some harmful consequences. Like, first of all, like if we have on the polar regions, we have ice caps, like North Pole, South Pole, we have ice. And if we talk about own Kashmir, we have some glaciers like Kolhai Glacier. We have all the glaciers in the Ladakh region. These glaciers have started melting rapidly. So some 30, 40 years back, if you uh, went to Ladakh and those areas, then you would have found so many glaciers there. But nowadays, if you go there, you will find that region is bereft of the glacial columns. Hundreds of glaciers have completely disappeared. So this is all because of, and in a study I found that I read that somewhere that the Kashmir has received the highest impact of global warming. No other state, like no other region, has received as grave impact of global warming as Kashmir has. So this is all because of this thing. This is all because of this global warming, which humans are causing, not the natural one. Natural one is life sustaining. It is beneficial for us. It is what helps us to sustain life. It is what helps us to live on this earth. But humans have, interfered in their natural ecological systems. They have disturbed the ecological balance, and this is because of what the extra global warming is causing harms. It is detrimental not for us but for all the flora and fauna out there. This is what we are going to discuss. And remember, uh, carbon dioxide is not the only greenhouse gas. There are so many gases like first of all carbon dioxide, and then CH4, methane. In the same way, nitrous oxide, N2O. In the same way, we have sulfur hexafluoride, SF6. Yes, so these gases are, in fact, the methane, nitrous oxide, sulfur hexafluoride, uh, nitrogen trifluoride. These gases are more, they are stronger than carbon dioxide in terms of greenhouse effect. In fact, there is a term which is used like global warming potential, GWP. So carbon is given the global warming potential 1. It has the global warming potential 1. Now, when we say methane has 25 GWP, it means methane is 25 times stronger than carbon dioxide in terms of global warming. So GWP stands for global warming potential. And in the same way, if you look at nitrous oxide, it has 265 GWP, which means it is 265 times stronger than carbon dioxide in terms of global warming. And if you look at sulfur hexafluoride, it is 23,000 times stronger. 23,000. It has the global warming potential of 23,000, means it is 23,000 times stronger than carbon dioxide in terms of global warming. Then in the same way, nitrogen trifluoride, it has 17,000. 17,000 GWP, means it is 17,000 times stronger than carbon dioxide in terms of global warming potential. Now, we mostly talk about global carbon dioxide as the main ingredient, as the main gas which causes global warming, because it is present in high concentration in the atmosphere. That is why we only talk about this. We don't talk about these. Otherwise, these gases are stronger than this. There are like water vapors also cause global warming, but as you see, when there is a lot of vaporization on the ocean, and the vapors in the end they precipitate and they come down in the form of rain, they again have that cooling effect there. That's why we ignore the impact of other gases. So now, do you understand what is global warming potential?
Yes, sir.
So global warming potential, repeating again, is the potential of a gas, like how much stronger it is compared to carbon dioxide as a greenhouse gas. तो इन सारे गैसेस को हम कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड के साथ कंपेयर करते हैं और देखते हैं ये कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड से कितना स्ट्रॉन्ग है. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को इंडेक्स मान के यहाँ पे चलते हैं और देखते हैं ये कितने स्ट्रॉन्गर है as those gases of greenhouse effect. So this is what we are going to learn. I'm teaching you in little depth, although it is a topic in English here, but I'm teaching you in little depth because, as I said, I'm going to conduct an essay writing competition on this topic. So, Amber.
Yes, sir.
Can you read the first paragraph?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Global
please.
warming is a common term used today, especially in the print and the electronic media. It refers to the rising average temperature of the Earth's atmosphere and ocean and its related effects. In the last 100 years, the Earth's average surface temperature has increased by about 0.8 degrees Celsius for 1.4 Fahrenheit, with about two-thirds of the increase occurring over just the last 3 decades. One of the major reasons cited is the increasing concentrations of greenhouse gases produced by human activities such as deforestation and burning of fossil fuels.
Good. So first, the book has given the definition. I already explained what the title means, global warming. So if you see global, it is an adjective. It is related to globe. Globe means earth. Warming, the warming of the earth. Global warming. Then it has a dash, means there is extra explanation. A catastrophe. What is catastrophe?
Natural disaster.
Yes, catastrophe, a disaster. And then there is a phrase in making. What does in making mean?
Information.
Exactly.
In process of
Information,
becoming.
in the process of formation, in the process of development. Means global warming is a disaster, but it has not fully manifested so far. It is in the process of development. ये तैयार हो रहा है, एक disaster बन रहा है. Understand? So this is what we are going to study. In the first para, as Amber read it out, uh, there's a definition. Global warming is a common term used today. Common term now means even a layman can also like understand this term, what it means. Now, like 30, 40, 50 years back, this term was only like, for example, if we take an example of ChatGPT, only the educated persons know what ChatGPT is. But a time will come when in a layman will be able to understand what ChatGPT is, what AI is. So today, only those who are tech savvy, who know computer and other things like that, so they know these terms. In the same way, global warming was not that common 30, 40 years back, but nowadays it is. It has become a common term where in print media and electronic media. As this book has, this book was published some 2000 before 2010. Then there was no social media, so he has not talked about social media. He's only talked about uh, two medias. One is print media, and the other is electronic media. Nowadays, we have one more media, that is social media. So whether it is social media, whether it is print media, or whether it is electronic media, this term has become common today. Now, what does it refer to? It refers to rising average temperature of Earth. As I said, what is the average temperature of Earth? Naturally occurring average temperature of Earth? It is
15
15
degrees.
degrees centigrade. Yes. So it is the increase in that 15 degrees centigrade. It is not increase like Kashmir में 5 डिग्री एक्स्ट्रा चल रहा है और बाकी में नॉर्मल चल रहा है. This is not global warming. Global warming is the increase in the average temperature of the Earth's atmosphere and oceans and its related effects. Now, एक बात आपको याद रखनी है. There's one more term which is in fact a broader term. We call that as climate change. Okay? It is related. Climate change. So you can say climate change is a whole. It is a whole, and global warming is it a subset. Global warming is it a subset. It is part. So climate change includes everything. Even it includes erratic precipitation, erratic snowfall. Even in, it like includes so many other things. Like last year, you see there was so much cold. Our winters were very harsh last year. So these things are attributed to climate change, not to global warming. Global warming just includes the rising temperature of the earth, but that rising temperature has so many consequences. Then it does not always lead to like warming, melting of glaciers and only this. It can bring with it some other things as well, like high velocity storms. It can bring droughts. It can bring cyclones, tornadoes, and other things. These all are related to broadly termed as climate change. So he says, the book says that it is the increase in the average temperature of the Earth's atmosphere and oceans and its latest related effects. In the last 100 years, the Earth's average surface temperature has increased by about 0.8 degrees centigrade. Means it is increase in the average temperature. So if it was 15 degrees centigrade, if you add 0.8 to it, it will become 15.8. And with two-thirds of the increase occurring over just last three decades. So two-thirds means 66%. Two-thirds means 66% of increase has occurred in the last 3 decades. Why? Because in the last 3 decades, decade means a period of 10 years. In the last 3 decades, there was like more industrialization, more burning of fossil fuels, more pollution. It was all because of it all occurred in the last 3 decades. As we proceed, there is more industrialization, there is more cutting down of forests, and we are increasing those human interference, those human activities. That's why he says the 66% increase has occurred only in the last 3 decades. What is the reason, main reason cited behind the increase in these greenhouse gases? One of the major reasons, means big reasons, cited means given. It is cited, cited. These are three verbs. One is cite, another word is sight, cite, and the third one is cit, cite. Site, sit, it means place. Sight, site, it means seen, vision. It means vision. Sit, site, it means to give. So the third one is used here. One of the major reasons given is the increasing concentration of greenhouse gases. So greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, like nitrous oxide, like sulfur hexafluoride, methane for that matter, these gases are increasing. And how are they increasing? These are produced by human activities such as deforestation, cutting down of trees, and burning of fossil fuels. Then it says an increase in the global temperature. Now, if the global temperature increases, means if the average temperature of Earth increases, what will be the consequences? An increase in the global temperature will cause sea levels to rise. Now, how will the sea levels rise? For example, if we have a glacier here on a mountain, so when the temperature increases, this glacier will start melting. It will start to melt. Then what will happen? The run of water will increase. And ultimately, that water goes to rivers, then rivers meet oceans, right? So they meet oceans, and then oceans become seas. And this is how the sea level is going to rise, because more water is going to be transferred from the earth to the oceans through this melting of glaciers. That is why an increase in the global temperature will cause sea levels to rise and will change the amount and pattern of precipitation. Precipitation does not only mean rain. Precipitation means rain, snow, and hail. These are the three forms of precipitation. When there is vaporization, evaporation of water on the oceans, uh, they form clouds, and clouds, when they cool down, they precipitate, form small liquid droplets, and those liquid droplets can come down in three forms. They can come in the form of rain or snow or sometimes hail. So it is going to impact that precipitation, amount of precipitation, and pattern. Amount means that sometimes there may be too much water, like rainfall, and it will inundate us, like floods may come. And sometimes there will be droughts, like it will not come, and sometimes it will not come. For example, in Kashmir, mostly we receive a rainfall in we receive for snow in December, January, February, then March, April, May are for rain. Then you will see in the like autumn season we don't receive that much rainfall, but we may get rain in autumn season. Like if you remember 2014 floods, it was the month of August. In that like time, we rarely receive that much of rainfall. So the pattern of rainfall will change. And a probable means a possible expansion of subtropical deserts. So one is like, if this is the earth, this middle line, just considering it is an equator, so then 23.5, then 23.5 below. Yes, then this region, after leaving this 23.5 and this upper part, this is called subtropical area. So this, the subtropical deserts are going to expand, means we call this as desertification. And if you recent report, if you read on Thar desert, the Thar desert is increasing, like it's expanding every year. In fact, every day it's expanding. Millions of acres of land have been covered and are getting covered every year and getting transferred into desert. So when an area increases its productivity by around 20, 10 to 20% annually, we call that as desertification. So desertification will increase. Now it says warming is expected to be strongest in the Arctic region and would be associated with continuing retreat of glaciers. Retreat actually means to go back. Retreat actually means to go back. Retreating glaciers means, for example, if the glacier was up to this like point, now after 1 year or 2 years, you will see it will melt and it will shrink and it will go to this place only. Like, for example, I'm just erasing this line. So now this line has become, now this vast area has become empty, means the glacier has retreated. It has shrunk. So it will lead to retreat of glaciers and it will lead to retreat of permafrost. What is permafrost? Permafrost means frozen soil. Frozen soil. Like if the soil remains frozen for maybe more than 1 year, we call it as permafrost. Now, just an example to make you understand. In Chileकालान, you see, अगर रात को like क्लाउड्स नहीं होते, तो जब आप सुबह उठते हो, अगर आपके कूचे में, आपका गली में कीचड़ होता है, तो कीचड़ होना वो हार्ड हो गया होता है. It becomes hard, and that is like, जिसको हम कश्मीर में शुशुर बोलते हैं, and तो शुशुर है ना, उसी के जैसा permafrost होता है, frozen state of soil. ना इस फ्रोजन स्टेट से क्या होता है, सबसे पहली चीज है कि अगर वहां से ग्लेशियर्स मेल्ट होंगे या रेनफॉल होता है, बिकॉज द सॉइल इज ऑलरेडी परमाफ्रोस्ट, इट इज फ्रोजन, तो ये पर्कुलेट डाउन नहीं हो जाएगा. जो वाटर, एक्स्ट्रा वाटर ऊपर से आ रहा है, ये नीचे सोक नहीं होगा, मतलब सीप नहीं होगा, एब्जॉर्ब नहीं होगा, ये सीधा बहेगा. सेकंड थिंग इज कि ये परमाफ्रोस्ट है, जो असली बात इसमें है, permafrost अगर मेल्ट हो जाएगा, अगर ये सॉइल मेल्ट हो जाएगी इन द आर्कटिक रीजन एंड अदर रीजन्स, इसके अंदर थाउजेंड्स ऑफ टन्स ऑफ कार्बन जो है वो स्टोर है, और जब मेल्ट हो जाएगा इट विल रिलीज कार्बन एंड ये और प्रॉब्लम पैदा करेगा. दिस विल क्रिएट मोर प्रॉब्लम्स. सो इट विल लीड टू shrinking of permafrost, melting of permafrost, and it will melt sea ice also. जो seas के अंदर ice होता है, that will also melt. Other likely effects of global warming include more frequent occurrence of extreme weather events. Extreme weather events means like in winters you will get extreme winter, and in summers you will get extreme summers. Too much hot, बहुत ज़्यादा गर्मी बढ़ेगी और बहुत ज़्यादा सर्दी भी. This is extreme. Including heat waves, like जो इंडिया में चलती है ना, लू. Maybe you might have read about this loo in geography. तो ये बहुत ज़्यादा गर्म हवा चलती है, और ये जब किसी के सर के साथ टकराती है, स्पेशली दिस पार्ट, मेडुला ऑब्लांगेटा, सो वो इंसान जो है वो फिर मर भी सकता है. एंड इट विल लीड टू दैट एक्सट्रीम हीट वेव्स, ड्रॉट्स मतलब जिसको हम कहते हैं कहत साले, जब बिल्कुल बारिश नहीं होती है तो उसकी वजह से फसलें नहीं उगती है, तो फिर ड्राउट्स आ जाते हैं. एंड हैवी रेनफॉल, जैसे 2014 के फ्लड्स, यू रिमेंबर, कश्मीर में जो हुए थे, या फ्लैश फ्लड्स आजकल ज्यादा में देखने को मिलते हैं. जैसे इन बानी हाल रिसेंटली व्हाट हैपेंड, तो ऐसी चीजें देखने को मिलेंगी. स्पीशीज एक्सटिंक्शन, चाहे वो प्लांट स्पीशीज हो, एनिमल स्पीशीज हो, दे आर गोइंग टू गेट एक्सटिंक्ट, बिकॉज जो नेचुरल हैबिटेट है उनका वो डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाएगा. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट हमें क्या हो जाएगा कि बहुत सारी स्पीशीज जो पहले थी अब देखने को नहीं मिलेगी. ड्यू टू शिफ्टिंग टेम्परेचर्स, तो टेम्परेचर शिफ्ट हो जाएगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ वी वर एक्सपेक्टिंग एक्सट्रीम कोल्ड हियर, बट वो एक्सट्रीम कोल्ड नहीं मिल रही है। तो जो हमारे यहाँ माइग्रेटरी बर्ड्स आते थे साइबेरिया से, अदर प्लेसेस से, अलास्का से, लेट्स सपोज, तो वो नहीं आएंगे फिर। सो शिफ्टिंग ऑफ टेम्परेचर्स एंड चेंज इन एग्रीकल्चरल यील्ड, यील्ड मींस प्रोडक्टिविटी और प्रोडक्शन। तो एग्रीकल्चर प्रोडक्टिविटी में फर्क आ जाएगा, उसमें इस पे इम्पैक्ट पड़ जाएगा। स्पेशली मैंने रिसेंटली एक रिपोर्ट पढ़ा था कि कश्मीर की जो एप्पल इंडस्ट्री है ना, इट इज गोइंग टू बाय 2050 यहाँ की एप्पल प्रोडक्शन है, एप्पल प्रोडक्टिविटी जो है उस पर 50% इम्पैक्ट पड़ेगा हमारी बाय 2050। अगर ग्लोबल वार्मिंग यही ऐसे ही चलेगी तो यहाँ की एप्पल इंडस्ट्री पे इतना इम्पैक्ट पड़ेगा कि 50% प्रोडक्शन विल डिक्रीज बिकॉज ऑफ दिस ग्लोबल वार्मिंग। सो समझ आया?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
सबको समझ आया?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
एनी क्वेश्चन?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, chalo, let's meet tomorrow. But one thing I would ask you to, as I said, I'm going to conduct an essay writing competition on this topic. So घर में इसके बारे में पढ़ो, and I'm going to reward the position holders. Definitely I will reward, but it will not be only for your class. It will be with all the other sections of 8. उनके साथ होगा आपका, और जो इसमें टॉप करेगा I will definitely. पहले इसको पढ़ने तो दो, हालात सुधरने दो, उसके बाद।
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Okay, sir.
चलिए then. It's time to take a leave. Take care of yourselves and your family. Allah Hafiz.